Hello everyone. In this video, let us learn about organization of genes. So genes are certain segments in the DNA which are going to code for a protein. So genes are functional unit of a DNA sequence. Now these genes will be organized in various ways. So the most important ways that is there in your syllabus is overlapping genes and split genes. Genes will be organized in terms like they are overlapping and sometimes they are split. So we will learn in this video what is this overlapping genes and what is this split gene. So we will be learning how genes are organized. Moving on to the introduction. The region on DNA which gets transcribed to mRNA to form a protein, these regions are known as coding regions. Coding region has translation initiation codon at its 5' end on mRNA and a termination or nonsense codon at its 3' end. In addition to the coding region, a gene must have certain sequences that has specific functions during transcription and translation. So apart from a coding region, gene will also carry some other sequences which will have some specific functions. For example, promoter is a region on a gene which will not code for a protein. Instead, it helps in RNA polymerase binding to the gene. Operator is another segment on the gene. So like this, there are various sequences on DNA. Apart from coding region, these sequences are also present on the DNA like promoter, operator, ribosome binding site, etc. So coding regions of genes may show different organizations like uninterrupted genes, overlapping genes and interrupted genes. Let us move on to uninterrupted genes. In case of uninterrupted genes, the coding region is continuous. This is a speciality of uninterrupted genes. What does continuous means? Continuous means in between the sequences, or this is a complete gene. So in a gene there will be promoter, operator and so on. Apart from that, there is a coding region, and this coding region always it will be continuous. That means all the nucleotide sequences will be copied onto the mRNA, and this complete mRNA will code for particular amino acid to synthesize a complete protein, which means there are no such nucleotide sequences. There are no such nucleotide sequences between the coding regions which might get removed later on. So that is not there in uninterrupted genes. So in this uninterrupted genes, the coding region is continuous. All the nucleotide bases that is present on the DNA in the coding region will get copied onto the mRNA, and this mRNA will give rise to protein. That is what uninterrupted genes means. These type of uninterrupted genes is generally seen in prokaryotes. Prokaryotes has this uninterrupted genes, and prokaryotes also carry this uninterrupted genes as operons. So what are these operons? Operons are non-overlapping genes, or we can also call it as, in operons the genes are simultaneously present. That is, gene 1 is neighboring to gene 2. So in between gene 1 and gene 2 there is no DNA or any other nucleotide bases present. So after gene 1, immediately gene 2 will be present, immediately gene 3 will be present. So such type of genes, the continuous genes, we call it as operons, where all these genes will be controlled by a single promoter region. So gene 1, gene 2, gene 3. Gene 1 will code for a different protein, gene 2 will code for a different protein, gene 3 will be coding for a different proteins. But all these genes are continuous and they will be operated by a single promoter. So such type of gene we call it as operon. So prokaryotes have uninterrupted genes, and also like they carry these genes in the form of operons. This is all about uninterrupted genes. Moving on to the overlapping genes. This is there in your syllabus, very important thing. Generally, neighboring genes are separated by a variable length of spacer DNA. So what are these neighboring genes? Gene 1 and gene 2. They are the neighboring genes. But in between gene 1 and gene 2, there will be a nucleotide sequences. Between these gene 1 and gene 2, nucleotide sequences will be present which will not code for any proteins, and such sequences we call it as spacer DNA. Such type of DNA we call it as spacer DNA. So you can see in this image there is gene 1 and there is gene 2. In between gene 1 and gene 2, there is a variable length of DNA present, the pink region that you are seeing. So this variable length of DNA that is present between gene 1 and gene 2, they are called as spacer DNA. If you see something like this, where gene 1 and gene 2 are separated by a spacer DNA, then such type of gene we call it as non-overlapping gene. So this is about non-overlapping gene, wherein this non-overlapping gene, where gene 1 will give rise to one mRNA, gene 2 will give rise to another mRNA. So here two different proteins will be produced, where gene 1 is going to give rise to one mRNA which in turn produces a protein. Gene 2 will give rise to another mRNA which in turn produces a next protein. So that is all about non-overlapping gene. But in some viruses, what happens is, for example, in phage MS2, phage 5X174 and SV40, in these type of phages, what happens is the genes will be overlapping with each other. What is this overlapping means? Boundaries of some gene overlap either partially or fully. For example, here boundary of gene 1 is overlapping with gene 2. Gene A overlaps with gene B. That means within gene B another gene is present, gene A. So this is how it is overlapping. So gene A is overlapping with gene B. So these type of genes we call it as overlapping genes. Thus, in case of overlapping genes, a single DNA sequence is represented in two or more different proteins. So this gene might produce two or more different types of proteins. This can happen in the following two ways. So two ways of overlaps you can see. In some cases, the first way we are seeing, that is reading frame is same. In some cases, a larger and a smaller protein. Here, what do you mean by larger and small protein? Here gene A and gene B is there. Gene A is a small gene, so it will produce a small protein. Gene B is a larger gene which is going to produce a larger protein. So that is how two different types of proteins are produced, larger protein and a smaller protein. So coming on to the first case, a larger and a smaller protein are synthesized from the same gene and the reading frames for both are the same. The initiation of translation for the smaller protein takes place at an alternative initiation codon located within this gene. Both the polypeptides, however, terminate at the same time. So when there is reading frame same, the initiation of translation for a smaller protein takes place at an alternative initiation codon located within this gene. Both the polypeptides, however, terminate at the same site. Thus, the smaller protein is in fact a portion of larger protein produced by the gene. So, I will explain this with this diagram. The same thing I am going to repeat here. Now, you see there is gene B. We are talking about gene B where the RNA polymerase will bind and the mRNA is being synthesized. So here when a gene B synthesizes mRNA, the mRNA is going to be a larger mRNA. So the initiation codon of this mRNA will be present here. So initiation codon will be present here. However, the termination of this gene, for gene B the initiation codon will be present here. For gene A the initiation codon will be present here. So there are two different initiation codons, but however they terminate at the same site. You can see gene B and gene A ends at the same time and the reading frame for both gene A and gene B will be same. I will tell you what is reading frame in a while. So that is about the first case where the open reading frame is same. In some other cases, the DNA sequence shared by the two genes. We are looking on to having having different reading frame. So in some other cases, the DNA sequence shared by the two genes, the DNA sequence that is shared by the two genes is read in two different reading frames. As a result, the amino acid sequences, the amino acid sequences encoded by the overlapping region are quite different in the two proteins. Because the open reading frames are different, the amino acid sequence that is encoded by the overlapping genes will be different. In first case, the two proteins that are produced, that could be the similar proteins, where a smaller protein is a derivative of larger protein in the first case. Whereas in the second case, the larger protein will be completely different from the smaller protein because the reading frame is different. Now, let us see what is this reading frame. A reading frame of a gene refers to the set of three bases forming the sequence of codons. You all know that there will be a nucleotide sequence on the mRNA. So how this is read in form of codon. So three nucleotide bases together forms codon. So let us read this sequence now. So we will see with this example we will be learning what is this reading frame. So this is the sequence that is present on mRNA from 5 prime to 3 prime. At 5 prime it is A and at 3 prime it is C. So now reading frame could be the three bases are read as one codon. So ATA is going to code for one amino acid, CGA will code for another amino acid, TCC is going to code for another amino acid. So this is one type of reading frame. Another reading frame could be A will be left out, instead TAC will code for another protein. TAC will be read by a ribosome to code for one amino acid. GAT will be read to code for another amino acid. Likewise, the next type could be where A and T will be left out, where ACG could be one type of reading frame, ATC will code for another amino acid, so that could be another type of reading frame. So for one sequence, the reading frame is of these three different types. So this is all about reading frame. So based on the reading frame, if the reading frame is same for gene A and gene B, for both the genes, then the proteins that are produced will be similar. That the smaller protein could be a derivative of the larger protein. Say for example, if the reading frames are completely different in overlapping genes, then the proteins that are produced are also will be different. That is what is meant by the reading frame. So these are the situations that occur in overlapping genes. Overlapping genes are nothing but two genes will be overlapping with each other. As you can see in this diagram, gene A is overlapped with gene B. That is all about overlapping genes. And what happens when an overlapping gene is present? That is what the two situations that I told you based on the reading frames. If one reading frame is there, then the proteins that are produced are similar. The smaller protein will be a derivative of the larger protein. If the reading frames are different, then the proteins that are produced are also completely different. That is all about overlapping genes. Now we are moving on to the next type of genes called as interrupted genes. This interrupted genes is a very important type of genes because these interrupted genes are generally seen in eukaryotic cells. In case of almost all eukaryotic genes, the coding regions are interrupted by few to several non-coding regions, and these non-coding regions we call it as introns. The coding region is interrupted by a non-coding region called as introns. Such genes, so these type of genes we call it as interrupted genes. I am telling you, please don't get confused by introns and interrupted genes. In a gene, exon is a coding region which is being interrupted by an intron. So coding regions coding regions are interrupted by a non-coding region, intron. Okay, so such type of genes, the complete gene, we call it as interrupted genes. Non-coding regions are called as introns, coding regions are called as exons. The complete gene is called as interrupted genes. So this you should know the difference between exon, intron and interrupted genes. Intron and interrupted genes are not same. Introns are non-coding regions. Interrupted genes are the complete genes. Exon and intron together we call it as interrupted genes. So these interrupted genes are also called as split genes. In your syllabus copy it is mentioned as split genes, where interrupted genes and split genes are same. So the coding regions here are interrupted by non-coding regions and they are called as introns. Introns are non-coding sequences and they get copied into mRNA, but later this will be removed and only the coding regions will be pasted. There will be cutting and pasting which happens later. We will see that in a while. So the coding region of split gene is divided into few or several small segments, and these segments, as I told you, we call it as exon. The name exon is derived from a word expressed sequences. Expressed sequences. From this we have derived the name exon. Intertwining sequences. From this we have derived the name intron. Introns means intertwining sequences. Exons means expressed sequences. In an interrupted gene, the members of exon is more than the number of introns. The number of exons that is present will be more than the number of introns. Transcription of these interrupted genes yields an RNA, which we call it as mRNA, which contains both exons and intron sequences. Now this type of mRNA which copies both exons and introns, this we call it as primary transcript. So after the transcription, there will be post-transcriptional modifications that is going to take place to this mRNA, primary mRNA, where the introns will be removed. This process where the removal of introns takes place, that process we call it as splicing, where the introns will be removed and the exons will be joined. Now after the introns are removed and the exons are joined, the mRNA that we get is called as mature mRNA. These mature mRNA will later go for translation process. I hope this is clear to you all. Where the interrupted gene will get copied onto mRNA. When it gets copied onto mRNA, both exon and introns are copied. Later on, during post-transcriptional modification, introns are removed and exons are joined. So when exons are coding region. When all the coding regions are joined, this mRNA we call it as mature mRNA, and this mature mRNA goes for the translation process where the proteins are synthesized. Interrupted genes may include, where are these interrupted genes present? It may be present in the nuclear genes for protein synthesis. It can be present in the nuclear genes where rRNA and tRNA are produced. It is present in mitochondrial genes in yeast. It could be present in the chloroplast genes in a variety of plants. These type of interrupted genes are also found in archaebacteria. So in all this, where the genes coding for proteins in eukaryotes, in those genes are also interrupted genes. The genes that will produce rRNA and tRNA, those genes also could be interrupted genes in eukaryotes. Some mitochondrial genes are again in yeast, they are present. They are also interrupted genes. Chloroplast also have DNA where genes are there. They are also interrupted genes. Some archaebacteria also contains interrupted genes. So these are various interrupted genes and they are present in these different types of places. Now let us see, there are certain features for this interrupted genes or split genes. So what are these features? The exons occur in mRNA in the same precise order in which they occur in the gene. So on the gene, exons and interons are present. So they get copied. The exons will get copied in the same way. So let us look into this diagram. So this is exon 1, this is exon 2 and this is exon 3. So they get copied in the same way, where even after when introns are removed, all the exons are joined. Exon 1, after exon 1, exon 2 will be present. After exon 2, exon 3 will be present. Exon 1 will not join with exon 3. That is what that sentence means. The exons occur in mRNA in the same order in which they occur on the gene. That is what the sentence means. The next feature is all the tissues of an organism show the same split organization for a given gene. Say for example, there is a gene A in one tissue. In another tissue, there is another gene A. So both these gene A's, it's the same gene. Say for example, a gene coding for an enzyme hexokinase is there in one tissue. Say epithelial tissue, muscular tissue. Say for example, in muscular tissue, there is a gene which codes for enzyme hexokinase. In a connective tissue, there is another gene which codes for another enzyme, same enzyme, hexokinase. So both the genes are coding for hexokinase enzyme. So both the genes will be same genes, but they are present in different tissues. Both these genes will show the same exon intron sequence. The split will be same both in this muscular tissue and in the connective tissue, because they are coding for the same enzyme. So the genes are same. So both the genes show the same split organization. That is what this sentence means. In all the tissues of the organism, they show the same split organization for a given gene, for one particular gene. The next feature is each interrupted gene will begin with an exon and it will end with an exon. You can see in this diagram also, the interrupted gene that is present here has begun with an exon and it has ended with an exon. It will never, interrupted gene will begin with intron and end with exon, nor it begins with intron and ends with intron. It is always that the gene begins with exon and ends with exon itself. The beginning and the end of the gene will have exons itself. And the next feature is exons are smaller, whereas introns are longer than the exons. Initially I told one more sentence, there are more number of exons. The number of exons are more, but the sequence size is very small. Exons have smaller sequences, whereas introns have longer sequences. But the number of exons present in a gene is more compared to the number of introns present. That also you should know. Then the last feature that we are seeing here is exons are more conserved than introns. For example, as I told you, in muscular tissue there is a gene coding for hexokinase, and in a connective tissue there is a gene coding for an hexokinase enzyme. So in both these genes, in both the tissues, the exons will be same, whereas the intron sequences could differ. The nucleotide sequence or the reading frame of this nucleotide sequence could differ. The nucleotide sequences will be differ. Introns will differ, whereas exons are always conserved. That is what this sentence means. These are the various features of split genes. Now, before ending this, let us just compare between uninterrupted genes and interrupted genes. I want you all to note down these points. So moving on to comparison of uninterrupted genes and interrupted genes. First, we will speak about the size of mRNA and the gene. First feature is size of mRNA and the gene. So in uninterrupted gene, the size of mRNA and the gene will have a same size. The size of mRNA will be same as the size of the gene. Whereas in interrupted gene, the gene is larger, because the gene has both exon and intron, whereas the mature mRNA is smaller because introns are being removed. The size of interrupted gene mRNA will be smaller than the original gene, whereas in uninterrupted gene the size of the gene is same as your mRNA. That is the first feature. Moving on to the size of primary mRNA transcript and mRNA. We are going to learn the size of primary mRNA transcript and the mRNA. That is identical. Size of primary mRNA transcript and the mature mRNA is identical. They are same. Primary transcript is larger than the mature RNA. That is in interrupted gene. In the first point I was comparing gene and mRNA. In the second point I am comparing the primary RNA and the mature RNA. In primary RNA and mature mRNA are same in an interrupted gene. In an uninterrupted gene. In an uninterrupted gene, primary RNA and the mature RNA is same. So primary RNA, after primary RNA, it goes for translation. Whereas in interrupted gene, primary transcript will be spliced. That means introns will be removed and exons will be joined and we get a mature RNA. So primary transcript is larger than the mature RNA. Moving on to the next feature. In uninterrupted genes, introns are absent. In interrupted genes, introns are present. Next. This is a summary that we are speaking. That is why I am repeating all this. So in uninterrupted, introns are absent. In interrupted, introns are present. Moving on to the next point. Here in uninterrupted gene, the coding region is continuous. Whereas in interrupted gene, the coding region is not continuous. It is not continuous means it is being interrupted. The coding region is interrupted by introns. Where do they occur? Uninterrupted genes occur in prokaryotes and in some eukaryotic genes like eubacteria, some eukaryotic genes, and it also occur in all genes of eubacteria. Whereas interrupted genes are present in eukaryotes and it is also present in Archaebacterium. It is present in eukaryotes and in Archaebacterium. That is the occurrence of uninterrupted genes and interrupted genes. In uninterrupted gene, one protein will be encoded by one gene. One protein is encoded by one gene. In interrupted genes, one DNA sequence may code for multiple proteins. One DNA sequence may code for multiple proteins. That is all about the comparison. So whatever I have told about comparison is just a summary of uninterrupted genes and interrupted genes. So if you all have any doubts after seeing this video, please you can ask me your doubts. You can message me on WhatsApp. Thank you, class.